Yes, everybody, welcome back to Talking Wolves. It's another match preview. I'm joined alongside Matt. Matt, how's it going, man?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Just got over that pesky virus, but 2019 fighting fit now. So
That's it, mate. That's it. I think I've got the virus now. So,
yeah, I know. You need
uh,
to get yourself some McAfee, mate, or some Norton.
Wolves this week, this Wednesday, are going to be playing up against Crystal Palace at Molineux. Back at Molineux after two away games over the Christmas period. Of course, coming out off the back of a fantastic 3-1 victory at Wembley against Tottenham. Matt, you didn't go, but I'd assume you watched most of the game anyway.
I gave my ticket away. I was like, it's Christmas time. Money's a little bit
Here
tight.
we
We're not
go.
gonna get anything at Wembley. And lo and behold, I'm just gonna stay away. What a performance! Played it off the park.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pundits saying how poor Spurs played, which of course is a factor, but Wolves were very, very good anyway, weren't they?
Yeah, they're probably the best performance I've seen from a Wolves team since I've been watching them, and I've
Yeah.
only been watching the last six. No. I'm no Finn Morris. Um, yeah, fantastic performance. Every player was faultless, and when I say that
Yeah,
they've definitely put a shift in.
yeah, exactly.
I think it was a mixture between Spurs being poor, but you can only beat what's in front of you. And to come into the new year in seventh, it's amazing. It's stupendous.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I did the review straight after the game, and every week I seem to do it, but straight after the review, I learned so many more facts about the game that I wish I'd said in there. So I'm pretty sure there was one like Harry Kane didn't have a touch in the penalty area the whole game. Spurs didn't have a hot shot on target the whole of the second half. That's Wolves playing very well defensively, as well as obviously Spurs not being at their very best. But yeah, a fantastic performance, a fantastic win, and it gives us hopefully a little bit of momentum going into this game for the new year. Hopefully we can start off the year as we ended this year. So we'll start off some match facts. So Wolves have only lost one of the last 12 Premier League games against Crystal Palace in the top flight. Obviously beating them earlier on this season as well, 1-0. However, on a flip of that, Palace have only lost one of their last 5 visits to Molineux as well. Palace boss Roy Hodgson has only won 2 of his last 8 games against Wolves in the Premier League. Of course, both of those coming with West Brom, which is typical, really. But if we're pinpointing players here as well. An interesting stat regarding Wilfried Zaha of Palace. He's not got a goal or an assist in a Premier League match in his last 11 games. After a run that saw him get 8 goals and 2 assists in his previous 12. So he's on a bit of a drought at the moment as well. Raul Jimenez has been directly involved in 10 of Wolves' 23 goals in the Premier League this season.
What a
Six,
stat that is.
6 goals and 4 assists. And another team one about Wolves. Wolves have scored a league high ratio. 78% of their Premier League goals have come in the second half of games this season. 18 of our 23 goals have come in the second half. So, Matt, Palace, they're on a little bit of a down at the moment. They're 14th in the Premier League still, with 10 points ahead of them. Coming off, I mean, they played a Chelsea, lost out
That
to
was a
them.
bad game. That was. It was
Yeah,
shocking.
lost out to them 1-0. But how do you see this one going at the moment, based on Palace's form and so on?
Well, I would have said about 5 minutes ago, neutralise Zaha, and you've got an extremely good chance of winning the
Yeah,
game. But it seems at the minute that he's not firing on all cylinders.
yeah,
That said, however, you can't bank on him having a bad game because on his day he's probably one of the best players in the league.
yeah,
He's better than Palace, and that's no disrespect to Palace. I'm not trying to wind people up as usual. I'm sure Palace fans would agree he's too good for Palace. I like that Miljevic in the middle.
yeah, yeah,
I think he's a good player, and I think they're good from set pieces as well. Townsend as well, a bit of form, especially that goal at City.
yeah,
I don't think they're a bad team, but these are the fixtures on paper you look at the Wolves should be winning. But then you look at Tottenham away, and there's a fixture, it's a free hit, and we're going to put 3 past them. So on paper, obviously means nothing. But I think it's a game we should look to win. I won't be too disheartened with a draw,
yeah.
considering the results we've had. But yeah, we should be looking to win it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Palace's games. I did say just now they're on a bit of a down, but their fixtures are such a mixed bag, and their results are such a mixed bag. I mean, you look at it at the end of November, got a 0-0 draw away at United. I mean, at the time it wasn't too difficult, but got a win against Burnley, lost to Brighton, lost to West Ham, beat Leicester, beat City, drew to Cardiff and lost to Chelsea. So, I mean, you just never know, especially with Zaha, who's obviously struggling at the moment. For them still to get that sort of run of results isn't bad for them. I think Zaha, if he does surround himself with better quality players, again, that's no disrespect to Crystal Palace, he'll probably have one hell of a player, but, you know, it's going to be sod's law that he goes and turns up against Wolves on Wednesday as well.
I mean, they've got a lot of players who are underachieving, like Max Meyer.
Yeah.
They brought in, he's, you know, technically a very good player, but hasn't really pulled up any trees. Benteke, who's been pretty much non-existent.
Yeah.
They haven't really got a fit striker apart from Connor Wickham, who's just come back from injury, who again doesn't pose a ridiculous threat to goal. I like Sacco, the defender. I know he splits opinions, but I do. He's a bit how would you say it? Unorthodox.
Yeah.
But I do like him as a defender. I think he's really good. But you know, there won't be any pushovers. But I think we should have enough for him. If we played how we did against Spurs, I mean, no problems. If we play how we did against Fulham, then we could have a game on our hands, which is the most frustrating thing because we seem to play well against the bigger teams, and the little teams we're a little bit lax and sloppy. And you know,
do you think that's a problem? Do you think that's a problem in motivation or just a problem with how we're set up against bigger teams? It works better.
I really don't know. I can't see it being motivational because you know Martinez and players like that and Neves are decorated athletes, but they've never played in the Prem, so it's not like they've been there or we've got Fulham away, played here before. It's still fairly new to them, so I don't think it's motivation. And we seem to start really slow. Like you said, was it 18 out of our 23 goals?
Yeah, it's crazy.
In the second half. Yeah. It's like if you had that kind of intensity we do in the second half, in the first, we'd have games wrapped up by half time.
I think it was similar in the fact, I don't know if it was the League One season or the year after that, under Kenny Jackett, Wolves would always be so poor first half, and it would have to wait till half time, almost for the manager to give them a kick in the back, up the backside, for them to get going in the second half. I'm sure it was like a spell of 6 or 7 games. Every time we'd go behind or we'd be level at half time. And I'd always think, Kenny Jackett's going to say something. And we'd win every game after half time. It was strange. It's almost as if this is the case here. But, the Fulham game was very, very poor. Spurs game, we were okay first half. But, we really got going second half. So, I mean, is that good management or what? But of course, you want your players to be ready and 100% for the whole 90 minutes.
Yeah, and it's amazing what you can do when you play players in the preferred position like Adama.
Yeah.
He was fantastic against Spurs. Dele Alli and Ericsson, that run that he went on, they had like 3 nibbles at him before they could pull him down. He's a talent, and I'm made up that he's had a good game. Do you know how I feel about him? I won't have a bad word said about him. I think on his day he's probably him and Jota are our best wide men. They need to kind of run at players and commit players. But again, if you play them down the middle, they're pretty much nullified.
Yeah, well, I said on the review that he got both Ben Davies and Christian Eriksen booked in the first half. Both left-sided players. If he had played for longer in that second half, I think one of them may have been sent off because the way
they had him on strings, mate.
It was so dangerous. So, Nuno had reverted back to that wide system, especially after the calls from so many fans to go quite narrow. He did that. It's not really worked out, especially against Fulham. It was a dire system. It just didn't work, especially against a team as defensive as Fulham.
The problem is with Craven Cottage as well. The pitch is so small.
Yeah.
And they pack out that midfield. It was like a drop ball scenario every time the ball's in the middle of the park.
And they were sitting really deep. Adama couldn't do anything that game.
But then there was to introduce a bit of width and bring Cavallero on and change it.
Exactly, yeah.
But you shouldn't have to have 45 minutes of, okay, it's not working. And I'm not like having to go Nuno here or anything, but it's maybe a little bit of naivety. But what do I know? Well, he's doing a fantastic job.
We could with the Palace game then, starting lineup wise. I mean, I'd assume he's going to stick with that wide system again. Back 5 would remain the same, I assume.
I think the only 2 that will change in the middle, maybe the 2 central midfielders.
Yeah.
But again, Neves would look back to his old self. He, for the first time in months, I've seen him play with his head on the side turn, constantly looking for that forward pass and going forward. And that's the Neves we saw last season. Cutting inside, turning, and that pass for Doherty at the end for Costa's goal. The composure, and at that time in the game where, against, say, like Cardiff, he'd have probably booted that into Roel. So he looks to be back firing towards his his better form. I thought then Donker allowed Neves to play. I think he disrupted the middle of the park fairly well. Did the selfish stuff, the job that Saiss would do. So at the minute, competition for places in the central midfield role he's very healthy.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think I said to you a couple of days ago, the players that you've got 4 central midfielders there that are all looking fairly good in the past few weeks.
Yeah.
That's not including Morgan Gibbs-White as well, who could probably play in a midfield role. Morgan Gibbs-White could play in a front three as well, but you've got 4 wingers now that maybe all of a sudden Jota found form, Cavallero looks good, Adama is starting to look good.
Costa got his goal as well.
Costa got his goal, which may help. Jimenez, who's almost undroppable now. Almost, you're looking at players like Morgan and thinking, I'm not too sure where we're going to be able to slot you in now after the past couple of weeks of performances.
I know. I put a tweet out a couple of days ago saying it, 2019, and I still don't know Wolves' best 11.
Yeah.
And we're 7th in the table, so that must show the strength and depth that we've been wanting, really. And obviously coming to January, we will strengthen. It's looking good. It's looking really good.
Yeah. I mean, let's move on to predictions then. Palace home Wednesday. What are you going for, Matt?
I'm gonna go. I'll go 2-0. I'll go Jimenez again. I absolutely love that boy. I love him.
I'll go 1-0 Wolves. I'm hoping that we can get a win. If we can end, or we can start 2019 how we ended 2018, that'd be fantastic. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Wolves 7th in the Premier League as it stands, looking good, and if we could build on that, that would be fantastic. Let us know your predictions, your starting lineup and so on, and score line in the comment section down below. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, not too far now of 2,500 subscribers, and enjoy the match, and we'll see you all.
Have a great new year as well.
Yeah, have a great new year as well, guys, and we'll see you all very, very soon.